It's going to be a long night. It sure is. It was requested recently. I forget the name of the commenter, but I'll put him in the description. Thank you very much for this suggestion. I cannot believe I didn't think... Well, I guess I thought to do it earlier, but, you know, I just want to make sure that someone wants to learn this stuff, you know. I don't want to put out a lesson for a song that a whole bunch of other people will put a lesson out for, unless I can delve more into the details of it. And I think there's a lot here. Thank you very much for the request. Anyway, so half step down on the album. Not sure if it's tape speed or not. It's a pretty fast song. I imagine they might have just tuned it down. And quick note before I start, I was cool that, you know, sometimes when you see him, I always just assumed that it was Dean singing this song, and it is when they play it live sometimes. But then sometimes Dave Dreiwitz, bassist, sings it. And I don't know, I've only heard it. I've never confirmed whether or not it's true, but apparently he sang on the album version. He had some sort of like thing going on with his throat at the time, to where his voice was really raspy, and they kind of took advantage of that on the album. That might not be true. Maybe it's just Dean, or maybe I'm honestly not sure. But that's pretty cool if it is. Either way, it sounds a lot like Lemmy. Either way. Alright, so we've got some riffs and some chords and whatnot. Let's start off with that intro. So you might look at this, what I'm playing here, and think that's kind of weird. That's not what I thought he was playing there. I thought he was just playing straight, you know, major bar chords. Or maybe you thought he was playing like sevenths, you know, the just dominant seventh. On the C and A, right? The 8th and 5th of the E, right? And he is sometimes live. I think they might have double-tracked this on the album, because you can definitely, when he plays it live, I believe in the intro he kind of does like bar chords like that. It could also be sevenths. You can definitely hear like these three notes, the bass, then the flat 7 and the major third, and then this note. So that's... You can hear that note those are the notes I can hear very clearly. And I guess you could just, like, if you wanted to, you could do the thumb and then those three notes with your 3 fingers, right? But that's kind of awkward for me personally, unless it's on the strings, the higher strings. But you can just, really, you can do what he does, where I think he does this, he might be double tracked, where one of them's doing the 7th chords, or bar chords, and the other one's doing the... Could be. Either way, it works. If you want to do it like this, which is just those 3 notes, and the same thing, 3 frets lower, or if you want to do the dominant chord, either way that works. But although he's definitely emphasizing like not the high E string, he's really emphasizing like the like middle, like the D, G, and B strings there. Either way. So we do that twice, and then the riff comes in. I'll talk about this first. So this is the lead that's going on over the verse riff. Alright, so there's double stop on the 12th, on the G and B. Then just the 14 on the D. Then, right, so... Don't let those ring out at the same time, the double stop and the 14, the D, just let that be separate. So, you know, when they're ringing out, let them ring out. But as soon as you play that E note on the D string, make sure that those, I mean, that should be pretty easy to mute them since your finger goes right over those strings. But, and he kind of just barely bends it up. Right, just a tiny, tiny little bit, and then just ending on that note. And on the album, doesn't sound like there's much vibrato on that at all. But you know, I like to go, or even like, you know, just that little thing. But let's talk about this riff. It's a pretty cool riff. Right? Well, that's what he does at the end. And what he does in the verses. Now, sometimes what I like to do is play this, and I've seen other people play it this way because it feels right. It feels good to play it this way. Is doing it up here on like the 7th and 5th, this sort of area, on the low E string and A string, right? So. And it feels good to slide down there at the end. But from live footage that I've seen, he might be doing that in recording. It kind of sounds like it, but from live footage I've seen, he's doing it here. Right, so starting off on the D string, 2nd fret, then low E string, then 4th of the E string, then 2nd of A. So then open, pluck, pull off, then pluck, pull off on the 2 of the B, then pluck, pull off on the 3 of the E. So then you hit that open E chord, just the low 3 strings, and then just a power chord on the same 3 strings on the G and A. Alright, so or if you want to, just do, right, so 7th on the A, then 3 on the E like before, then 7th on the E, then do that on the 5th and 7th of the E, of the A, then, and then you can slide down there. I even myself kind of find myself doing that sometimes because it just feels good to slide there, right? It's good. Anyway. Alright, so next is the chorus, which is basically just all chords. Now, what you see a lot of people doing is they're playing like an open major chord here. An open E chord for the beginning here, right? So which makes sense, right? What I see Dean doing live is he goes up here to ring finger on the 11th of the A, then on the 9th of the D and G. Maybe even hitting that note up there. I don't really hear it. I think I just hear these 3 notes, right? It's not the end of the world if you hit that note, right? But it's, you know, whatever. And that's because that's basically the top 3 notes of an open E chord, right? And I think the reason he does that, I don't really hear it on the album version, but he might be, every once in a while, he might be doing, you know, just hammering on there from with his pinky on the 9th and 11th of the D. Anyway, that's the chord. Then major A bar chord. And then he does this. He hits that bass note. And same chord on the C. And then he does this. Classic D or G, which is just thumb, muting the A. You can also do it like this if you want. There's also nothing stopping you from just doing another bar chord. But you see him doing this live, so this is just mute the A string, and it's just the D, G, open, and then the 3rd of the B and E. And then we do that again. And then we go... right? Does that little walk up, open A, 1, 2. And there's a major chord, is muting the high E, so it's just the B major. Alright, and then pretty much during the other chorus, starts doing some unison bends. So during that, he starts doing some of these. All right, so that's just full step. I mean, unison bend, you know, it's just full step on the G while holding the B string, which is 2 frets lower. And then, so the first one up there is on the, I'll just say 7th, but 7th and 5th. And I'll just say what the higher fret is on the 7th. And these are all on the G and B, so don't worry. And then we do it on the 12th fret. Then on the 10th fret. Then we do it on the 5th. And then we do it again. And the last one, he goes up here on the 17th. Right? And then he does the intro. Right? And then for the last chorus, for the kind of outro, I guess you would call it, he does this kind of thing. He could be doing a couple things here, but he's definitely doing double stop here, like on the 15, and full step on the 14, the G. Right? Then little bend on the G, and pull off, and then on the E note of the D. And I think he might be going, so like, right? So after holding that note on the D, then hitting the G string on the same fret, right? Just the G and B on the 14 there. But he also could just still be holding the 15 of the B there, so. And then he goes, and then we get, all right, and then we get, and he just, he doesn't do that little, he just goes straight for the, just, and he ends it like that, and then he holds that E chord, and he slides it up to the, what is that, 19th fret of the E. And he slides that down, and then he does this kind of thing. He kind of hits some chords, just open. From what I hear, it's a E minor 7. So that's just right. So 7, 9 on the A and D, then 7 G, right? 8, 7 on the B and E. And he just kind of strums it, especially those G and B strings. This kind of area we want to focus on. And he kind of does this up here. Double stop here in the G and B, 16 and 15 respectively. Then he does up 1 fret for both of them, up 1 step, sorry. And then he does the double stop 14 on both of them. Goes down 1 whole step and kind of resolves there. And he kind of trem picking throughout all this. And then he does this kind of thing. So that's just 14D, just trem picking this. G, and then 14, 14, 16, 17, going back down, Then making your way up to the 19th on the G. And just bending up there. There's some other nonsense he kind of does in there where it's just all just pentatonic stuff. But that's the stuff that sticks out. That's the right, and you just end it like that. Really fun song. Sounds a lot like Motorhead, but you know it lives up, and that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, everything from the vocals, the riffs, it really, really holds up. That's another thing that I love about this band is that they don't just feel like they're putting on a Halloween costume. It feels like they're really good at all of the music that they make. You know, it's just them, and it just so happens to sound like other bands sometimes because they can just pull that off. Anyway, love this song. I had a blast teaching this and playing it. Thank you for giving me the excuse to teach it. Hope you have a great day. Take care.